Avram and Joel Glazer have made their decision to sell. Manchester United managed to reach the final of the FA Cup by eliminating Brighton. Manchester United, which will face Manchester City in the final, will win 2 trophies in one season if they win the FA Cup. Manchester United bosses Joel and Avram Glazer also made their decision after this situation. According to the Sun newspaper, the two bosses are said to have decided to sell the club after the final match. Joel and Avram Glazer, who think that Manchester United will be sold for a higher price if they win the FA Cup, will hold another meeting with the Qatari group this week. So what is your opinion on this matter? Will the club sale take place after winning the FA Cup? Manchester United can fix their Maguire problem thanks to Ajax's domestic problems. Lisandro Martinez alone wasn't enough to address Manchester United's defensive woes as the Red Devils look to add to their ranks in the summer. Although the Argentine formed a formidable defensive partnership with Raphael Varane, the duo's injuries against Sevilla left Erik ten Hag with only Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof as options. Maguire's blunders saw him fall out of favour at Old Trafford upon ten Hag's arrival, but the lack of alternatives forced the Dutchman to bring the Englishman back to his starting lineup in Spain. Ten Hag is already in the market for a new defensive option to provide cover for his first-choice centre-backs, and the track may lead back to his former Ajax pupil Jurrien Timber. When the 53-year-old swapped Amsterdam for United last summer, the 21-year-old was one of the first names to be linked with a switch to the Premier League to solve the club's defensive issues. He eventually stayed put in the Netherlands, with Martinez leaving the Johan Cruyff Arena to team up with Man United, but fast forward 1 year, and the duo could reunite in Manchester. Now more than ever, United should contemplate reigniting their pursuit of the up-and-coming defender to plug their defensive leaks and perhaps sever ties with overpaid Maguire once and for all. In Iceman Lindelof, Ten Hag finally has a third central defender he can rely upon. Manchester United booked their spot in the FA Cup final on Sunday following a penalty shootout win over Brighton and Hove Albion at the Wembley Stadium. In the absence of the suspended Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw played as a makeshift centre-back alongside Victor Lindelof. The duo were quite impressive as a pairing. Lindelof was undoubtedly the standout performer with 5 clearances and 5 duels won, and he kept a cool head in the end, converting the winning spot kick. In our view, manager Erik ten Hag finally has a third central defender he can rely upon and should continue with the Swede alongside Shaw for the rest of the season. The Red Devils boss has had the clear preference to play Maguire over Lindelof in recent months, but the latter should keep his place after his solid defensive showing yesterday. Lindelof was brilliant with his positioning against Brighton. He provided adequate cover for Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right flank when he was out of position. Lindelof and Shaw would be our preferred central defensive pairing against Spurs, but we won't be surprised if Ten Hag decides to reinstate Maguire in the 11. Brighton CEO addresses possible summer move of Manchester United transfer target Alexis Mac Allister. Brighton and Hove Albion CEO Paul Barber is unsure whether Alexis Mac Allister will remain at the Amex Stadium next season. As Fabrizio Romano reported, Manchester United and Liverpool are interested in signing the midfielder. He is having a fine season with the Seagulls and played a crucial role in Argentina's World Cup triumph last year. In a recent interview with TalkSport, Barber failed to rule out the possibility of a transfer exit for Mac Allister. The 24-year-old is known for his clever off-the-ball movements that help the players around him to benefit. One of his biggest strengths is the versatility he offers at the center of the park. He can play as a holding, central or attacking midfielder. Erik ten Hag wants his midfielders to play long passes to involve wingers who are told to remain wide on the flanks. Mac Allister does this regularly to use the pace possessed by Kaoru Mitoma and Solly March. The Telegraph reported last week that the Seagulls want at least £70 million to sanction his departure. He would be a useful addition to United's squad, but spending over £70 million on him wouldn't be an intelligent move. Manchester United planning Harry Kane bid as Red Devils up striker search. After allowing Cristiano Ronaldo to leave the club at the end of last year, Erik ten Hag has been forced to rely on loan Championship forward Wout Weghorst and the injury-stricken Anthony Martial. And although both players are doing their best leading the Red Devils' attack, neither are capable of being the club's long-term main striker, and that is set to force ten Hag into the summer transfer window in search of a new, proven and world-class hitman. Napoli's informed Victor Osimhen is believed to be on the Reds' radar, but it appears Tottenham Hotspur's record goalscorer Harry Kane is the name at the top of ten Hag's wishlist. And according to a recent report from the Telegraph's Matt Law, in an effort to get their business done as quickly as possible, United have already started doing their due diligence ahead of a potential summer offer. Interestingly, with just over 12 months left on his deal, it seems unlikely the England international will commit his future to Spurs and is therefore expected to turn down any contract offers. Tottenham's horror result leaves Brighton and Liverpool as close as threats to United's top 4 spot. Manchester United were not in Premier League action at the weekend, but they received a boost with Tottenham Hotspur suffering a heavy 6-1 defeat at Newcastle United. With the result, the Red Devils remain 6 points clear of Spurs for the 4th spot in the table, and they now have the luxury of 2 games in hand over the North London side. United will be in action against Spurs on Thursday night, and they have the opportunity to further strengthen their bid to finish in the Champions League places this season. According to 538's predictor, United are obviously in pole position to finish in the top 4. They have an 86% chance with another 8 games to play. Spurs are apparently out of contention with a 2% chance, but the predictor suggests that Brighton and Liverpool could be United's main rivals for a top 4 spot. Meanwhile, Brighton and Hove Albion are deemed as United's closest threats in the Champions League pursuit. Luke Shaw admits he was confident that Victor Lindelof would score the final penalty. Manchester United defender Luke Shaw was full of praise for Victor Lindelof after their victory over Brighton and Hove Albion in the FA Cup semi-final. The Red Devils reached the final after beating Brighton and Hove Albion 7-6 on penalties. Shaw said, "We've practiced them a lot in training and Victor has a beautiful technique. When he was stepping up, I was confident he wouldn't miss. We had to give everything today, and I'm really happy for the team that we're in another final." Lindelof kept the ball well and made key blocks and tackles throughout the game. The €15 million rated defender capped off his excellent performance with an outstanding penalty kick. Friends, Manchester United news is here. See you in the next video. Bye.